What's up, everyone? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Let me just adjust my screens. Here we go. That's better. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you for coming to the stream. And this week we're working on the 7 warriors that we started. So the first 1-2 streams it was only Paw, but I think we got into the on a roll with the characters and a little bit of free spirit last time. And I think we're gonna continue with the 7 warriors team and do all 7. And yeah, I think it's gonna be nice. So now we have Paw already working on doing a little bit off camera, so we get something interesting every week. But instead of doing one character each at a time, I was thinking maybe having them simultaneously throughout the streams. So this week we're gonna work on Tooth, the mouse warrior that we have. At the first glance, I wanted like a fencer mouse, but I think that's pretty much what we're going through. But I went to do some reference, and I think it would be nice to have a fencer, but with some metallic armor, a cape maybe could be nice. Yeah, a bunch of elements that I'm gonna show you guys. But for now, let me just show you where we're at. So here is our little paw. Big difference since last stream. I did some refinements in the muscles, also in the legs, so let me just take out a little bit of his clothing so you can see, maybe not the bottom. So here, as you can see, he's jacked up, and I did some straps for his hands, a little bit of claws. And the feet, we still need to work on them. So throughout the streams, I'm going to show you a little bit how I go, how the project goes forward. But where we might come back together to work on Paw, maybe posing him. Yeah, posing him together and add some details together. So for now, I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of progress on Paw, since we've been working on for 2 weeks and it was pretty much blocking. But now we're still in the blocking phase, but at least there's some advancement to it. That way I don't show up empty-handed for you guys. So today we're gonna work on Tooth, and Tooth, we have a bunch of reference right here. So over here, a bit like I said, I wanted a little bit like a fencer like this guy, and replace the sword by a little bit more of a, what's it called? A rapier? Yeah. So a rapier would be nice. I like this concept. Really nice that it's part of a sword, and this is just a little, like a Coca-Cola cap with a little button, has a needle, has a second weapon. So obviously it's a mouse, and mouses are tiny, very tiny, but we need to 3D print them. And Paw, in my head, he's like 5 feet 5, like he's a kind of, I don't know how high Wolverine is in the comics. But I was thinking more like a Wolverine stature, and obviously not the Hugh Jackman stature. He's freakishly huge. So just a small wolf, particularly the size of the fox. Also, it's going to be similar. Fox might be a little bit smaller than Paw, but the mouse obviously is really small. But since we're gonna 3D print them, I think it's wise to say that we're gonna scale them up a little bit but not too much that he's taller than Paw, and not even taller than Fang, the fox. So yeah, so that's pretty much the reference that I have so far. I'm thinking maybe a proportion like this one over here would be nice, meaning that the head is not overtaking like this one. Like this one is pretty much, the head is the whole size of the body, and it's like two sides. So if we take the distance from this point to this point, I'm pretty sure it's the exact same distance from this point to this point. And even I think it's the distance between his head that is exactly the same as his body. See, like a stature like this could be nice. Like this one is very, very nice. I think we're gonna base ourselves a lot with this one. But I stumbled on this one over here, and I really like the shoulder pads. And it could be cool to have one shoulder pad over here and still have that cape element. And this one is really nice, like a rebels type, like a, how do you say, anti-heroes type. Might be nice to have some earrings. I tend to forget to dress ears when I do characters, so might be nice to add some little earrings. Might be some classier ones. I'm thinking Tooth is pretty much a yes, he's a fencer, but he has like certain rules of fighting, a bit like Puss in Boots, right? He he has a little bit of charisma, right? See, something like that could be cool. Replacing the scarf by a cape could be nice, or just even the scarf also and a cape. Or maybe it's just a jacket, could be cool. Yeah, a jacket with the shoulder pad might be nice. And now a lot of these reference has the mouse without pants, except for these ones, obviously. The moment I'm saying that these ones has pants. But you can see over here it doesn't have pants, Here, I believe it has pants. It's a bit dark over here. Doesn't have pants, that's good. Doesn't have pants, and that's pants. So half of them have pants and half of them doesn't have pants. We'll see if we want pants or not. I'm thinking just some simple pants like this one could be nice. And we can have the feet naked, like these ones. Like these ones also. I'm not thinking putting boots on these ones. Those are really tiny feet. Jeez. This one's really nice. I like the art style. The proportions are a bit different than what we're looking at, but I think actually that could be a nice pose for our character. I think we're gonna take a little bit of inspiration for this pose. Well, we might have his weapon on the side, and it's a rapier also, so that could be cool. And the little tail curving, that's cool. So yeah, that's pretty much the agenda today. Just gonna put these ones a little bit on the side for the moment. And I think I'm gonna put them on my other screen, so say bye-bye. So in ZBrush, I would like to have like a little bit of a diorama style in the end with all 7 warriors working together. So we're gonna use Paw as a reference. Our main reference is gonna be Paw, because he's pretty much the middle height of all the characters that I have in mind. So like I said, Paw is, let's Google Wolverine's height in the comic books. Oops. Marvel Wolverine height. So he's 5'3", right? So 5'3" is the reference for paw. Now 5'3" on the statue is a bit difficult to see, but it's pretty much in between a dwarf and a human. So if we compare with our little guy over here, our little king dwarf we worked on the last project, so he should be a height right around here, so right around where my finger stops. And I remember precisely that the height that I used for this character was 40 millimeter. So we're gonna base ourselves on that and the Wolverine height when it comes to printing. But for now, we need to know where we want Tooth to reach the height of paw. So let's merge visible. That way I can only have one subtool and I don't have to handle all the rest. And here we're gonna add a little sphere. That's gonna be the head. And I think waist, like just under the waist, could be nice. So if this guy is 40 millimeter and paw is pretty much over here, let's use our little pen as a reference. So right around here. So that's the height of paw. And if we put Tooth right around the waist, so it should be pretty much the middle ground over here. Yeah. I think he's gonna be way too small for a miniature this size. He's probably gonna end up being 20 millimeters, and I think it's gonna be way too small. Nope. Adriano, just subscribe. Thank you for the subscribe, my boy. So I think if we reach to the chest, I think it's gonna be better. Thank you for the subscribe. Hope you're having a fantastic day, and thank you for coming to the stream. Right here, we can even do some testing. So here, let's grab a cube. Oh. Let's just tweak the scale of it. So right here it's 222. So technically this thing is the paw that we have over here is not even I think not even 10 centimeters. 10 millimeter. Yeah, it's like 5 millimeter height. So it's super freakishly small. So let's change that up into what we could add. Let's see, we have a ruler over here. So 40 centimeters, 40 millimeters is around this height. And I don't think you can see it, but that's pretty much the height of our character just from the podium. So if we add another 10 millimeter, I think that's gonna be enough. And I think it should reach pretty much the average human height. If we're comparing a dwarf and human, right? So if we go 4 and 50, that's pretty much our paw height. So 4 and 50, pretty much over here. So let's put paw at 45 millimeter. And we're gonna adjust everything. So now this is the proper height that we have. Is 45 millimeter high. And this one, if we put it at 40 of height, and we don't care about the rest of it, 40. Yeah, I don't mind. There we go. Just align it with the line. So that's our dwarf, and that's paw. So he's close to a dwarf, right? And if we put our tooth character right around here with the chest, if we take this part over here, actually, you know what, I'll just mask this part, put my pivot over here, and what I'll do is I'll just adjust the scale. So we want the top of his head to reach this height. So now 32 millimeters. So we're gonna put the tooth at 32 millimeter height. This will be our height reference. And we can now start modeling too. So that's how we want to make sure that the scales are good, because otherwise, once we're gonna export everything, it's nice to have everything organized, making sure that everything is the proper height. You can still do it afterwards, but it's just a bit of a hassle when you have all the poses already done and all the elements. Some might break, others might have some texture, some noise on it, and then you have to readjust the scale for this noise texture. So just start off with the right scale in the beginning, and you're good afterwards. Over here, right around here, and we might as well put this one over here. Like we said, we wanted the top of the head. Top of the head right here. And I'm going to put it just a bit lower because we're going to have the big ears. And I think we're good to go. Yeah. I don't know if you can see it, but I can kind of see our character in place. So we're gonna remove paw. We don't need him anymore. And we're gonna use this as our reference. And actually, you know what? Let's just use it as our name file. 7 warriors, and we're gonna create another file, tooth. Here, I want my scenes. And here we're gonna have Zbrush. And we're gonna call him tooth blockout. There you go. So now not only it's our reference, but it's also our file name, so we're sure to keep it for a while. All right, so proportion wise, here it looks like it's a third. So one head equals two, wait, no. 2 heads equals the body completely. So let's do the same over here. using our height as a reference. We might need to scale up the head right over here. So 1 and 2, still too small. 1 and 2, that's too big. 1. We got the gist of it. So that's his head. Now, taking back our reference over here, I think we're gonna go with a little sphere for his body. And obviously, since it's a little mouse, he won't be super jacked up like Paul, right? It's gonna be just a little bit. It's gonna be more skinny and a bit more cute, if we can say. Right here. Now we want. I just want to see if I can. Yep. Just gonna scale that up. All right, that's on the side, and we're gonna use that as our foot. Obviously, this is the blocking, and I'm gonna repeat myself over and over and over every time we do some blocking. First step is always like right here. It looks like I have on my other screen reference, this one over here. So let's just spread them a little bit, having the hips a little bit open. And I'm gonna clone this, rotate it on the little ankle. Just gonna turn it so it's flat, like this. And I'm just gonna scale it down and a bit flatter so it has a space for the toes. And something like this. Just the first step anyways. We're not even using the move tool. So here we can hide the reference. We have our end of the body and the top of our body. I'm gonna use this part over here to create the hips, and also no, not the hips, the little quad. Here we go, something like this, a little bit shorter. Now obviously this maybe the calf that we can call it, this one is way too thick. Let's just inflate in the negative. By the way, let me know if the music is too loud, if I'm too loud. I can adjust the volume for you guys. Over here, I'm gonna grab this one and duplicate and also rotate it. Now I think it's time to use a little bit of move tool just to have a little bit more control. There we go. I'm gonna use move topological, or move topological. How's it called? Topological. And just move things. So move the bottom over here, just a bit higher. And we need that little S curve. The natural curve of the spine. Actually, I realized that I'm not even in symmetry, so activated symmetry. I think something like this could be nice. Wow. The head is looking huge right now. We're gonna adjust it afterwards. And let's create our little arms. Let's already put it on an angle so we can have more freedom afterwards. And over here, just a little bit, just a little forearm, tiny bit longer. Actually, you know what? Let's redo his upper arm. Let's shorten up a little bit and put it closer to the shoulder. And then we can elongate this one. Hope you had a fantastic week, by the way. For us, it's been sunny. Enjoyed some runs in the park, not in the park, outside. Some rides. Oh, it's nice. It's when you go outside and you don't have to put on a big coat. You don't have to put on boots. You don't have to dress like with 16 stupid layers just because it's winter outside. Just go out, t-shirt, short, put on some Crocs if you want, put some small shoes. Easy life, right? That's the stuff. That's the stuff. All right. Put a slight bend on the elbow. And again, for now, let's do a little cheat code. I like to use this full arm thingy, and we're actually gonna separate it. And over here, this is the opposite side that I want this one. Oh, this is, by the way, in the default of Zbrush. You can find it over here. IMM B parts, body parts. So it might be weird to have a mouse with five fingers, but we're gonna make it work. And we might do the classic cartoon thingy when we remove one finger, so don't worry too much about the hands. We're gonna well, we're gonna figure out what we're gonna do afterwards. Over here, I just want the hands. I don't need the arm. So over here, I'm just gonna delete the poly loop. This one, auto groups. Just one the green and delete hidden. That way we have the arms, the hand, and let's just give it just a small inflate. I think it's gonna be a lot. 50? Yeah, 50. Just for a moment. It's a placeholder right now. All right. Now over here, we're gonna do a bit like paw, or where we separated the legs. That way we have more control when it comes to posing. And now, let's grab our reference. I'm gonna put it right here. I'm just gonna tweak what we have so far, so it looks closer to the reference. I'm just gonna use the move tool and maybe the clay buildup for the moment, but nothing too harsh. I have a little torso, and it kind of looks like a triangle with the hips. We're gonna aim for a little bit the same kind of posture. Gonna place myself on the shoulder, and I just want the arms with the hands. And it looks like he has a little bit more shoulder than I think he has. Something like this. And the anatomy will come afterwards. Something like that. Let's use our little move topological. And let's just adjust the arms. Like I said, he's not going to be super jacked up, almost skinny looking. We still want some credible anatomy. So over here, this thing is a bit too exaggerated. And obviously it's just a sphere, so it's normal, it's exaggerated. Just a little forearm sliding over here. The little hand, just gonna scale that down just a tad. Here we go. Now it looks over here that the hips, the knee is pretty much at the end of the body. We're gonna beef them up. Put them slightly higher, like so. And these ones over here, they're going way thin, so let's make our knee and then reduce the volume over here. I'm still using just the move tool. When we're gonna dynamesh the whole leg, we're gonna be able to remove more material faster. Not faster, but just more precisely. Oops. This thing also needs to lose some thickness. and the little feet. See, like this concept art, well, it kind of looks like Lord of the Rings. Like now that I see the little ring over here, I think this is supposed to be little Frodo Baggins over here. So this concept art was pretty cool because it's simple, just a cape, a ring, and a sword. But yet, we can feel the character behind the composition. So I like this reference a lot for a character. And I don't know if you guys saw my post on Instagram, just posted a new 5 tips to for 3D. Tip number 1 is to use reference. Tip number 2 is to know your forms. So if you need to work on forms, and I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm the best out there. It's just general advice that you need to know is to learn to read the forms. So here we can clearly see it's going thicker to smaller, then it grows over here, then smaller, then grows over here, and then we have the foot. So if we want to do the same thing and to convey the same kind of silhouette, we need to do the same over here. And you can see that as I'm looking at the reference and my work, this needs to be way shorter. This needs to be shorter also on my end. And the foot is pretty much the same size, it's just obviously without any division of the fingers, of the toes. You don't see it. So here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mask this part over here. I'm gonna grab this part, just shorten the whole thing. And I think it's gonna be a wise choice to Dynamesh right now. I'm gonna go way smaller. And that way we can see without the distraction of the lines of the sphere. And what we can do is actually use the inflate brush and putting it to sub and just some tad, just some small touch. Put add, pretty much always in the add, and you can just press the alt key and it's gonna subtract. Right here. And again, this is obviously just the beginning of our character. So it also felt like I went overboard with the inflate. So we have the hips opening, but not the foot. So we need to rotate these out. And to do so, we can use our rotate without the gizmo tool. Click and drag and just hold over here. Rotate that. Let's do it again. I think my mask wasn't good. Yes, exactly. Rotate out. Now we have the knee going out and the foot going out. Now, again, looking at the reference, legs are too small. Just the oversized, it's just the general size of the legs. So let's scale them up. And move them closer to the body. See, so now we have a better proportion. Obviously, it won't be perfect, but trying to reach a certain resemblance of the reference, right? See, it kind of makes more sense now that we scaled up the legs, because the arm was looking a bit too big, and now that we scaled up the legs, it fits better, right? Speaking of the arms, let's mirror and weld, and for the hand also, so we have a better picture. I feel like the arms are pretty much the size we need. Just gonna create a little hips over here. Now let's work the head. So the head, you have a plane right over here, so on the side of the head. Then it goes really, really small. Eyes are big, obviously, but the shape of the head, it seems like it's a bit more, it's less round. It has more angles on it. So you see over here, it has this nice angle going down. So let's try to make the same thing. So first off, we might need to scale it down. I think something like this. And what we can do is use our clay buildup. Just remove a little bit so we can have that shape over here. And using our move tool, now we can see that the top of the head is wider than what we have. So around here, the head is way too front, so the forehead is kind of a plane all the way to the nose. Something like that for beginning, just to start. The back, we don't see it, but we can probably imagine that it shouldn't be way too round in the back either. Actually, we can pretty much bring it forward also, because we need some space for that neck. Right over here, we're just going to create a little divot over here. Here, just gonna grab my damn standard while using Alt and gently draw the jawline. Maybe some clay buildup will help. We're creating that jawline right over here. And here we need to cave in just a bit. And you can see over here, it has the eyebrows going out and then have that curve. And here we don't see it because the light is not showing. But it's important to have that shape. So we're just gonna cave in the eye socket. It's a bit like a human skull. You have this flat part. And then you have your skull cranium over here. And we're kind of creating that curve over here. So just need to move that just a bit wider. Over here. Now, I never did a mouse before, so you'll have to be patient with me, because I'm trying this for the first time. But it's just a matter of reading the shapes. Like I said, you read the shape and use your reference. And for here, I'm just gonna add our eyes, so we can have a better understanding. So the little eyes are quite big, actually. Let's move it like here. Mirror and weld. Up here, it's having some little. It goes inside and then goes. The eyes are popping out, actually. So right here, you can see the eye is going outside. I'm trying to have the same angle of the camera, and these eyes are a bit too big. Eyebrows need to go out a little bit more. You can always draw also. We can draw the little nose. I think it's a good, whoopsie daisy. Let me just put that smaller. There we go. I think it's a good time to just Dynamesh a bit too much. Mask needs to be clear. There we go. I'm just gonna smooth everything out. There we go. Seems like an alien smiling. But we're actually making the nose. Sorry for my accent. So right here, just gonna make that little nose shape. And here we're gonna cave in. Move tool. I'm going a bit freestyle. Let's have a real reference of a mouse. This one, this one's cute. Let's use this one. Yep. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Give me 5 seconds. the up close. I think that's good. All right. All right, we have these little two cute little mouse. It feels like it has a little divot over here, and then you have the little hole. So let's undo what we did, because that's why you need reference. If I would have just left that like that, it would have looked weird. But now that we have a reference of a mouse, we can do it better. We're going to increase this, but we're still going to use our reference of this style over here. It's just now we know how the anatomy of the nose is. And just put this back right here. So over here, create a little divot. Standard right here. It's a bit similar to the wolf. Kind of looks like this. Have that. You have that hole right around here. Have those side things. It's super small. It's a super small nose. Say something like that. Right. Barely see the holes, like our reference, but at least we know we're accurate. Now from here, now this one is just, I think it's a closed mouth. So it's using that classic separation that we used to draw like dogs. I don't know if you guys used to draw like cats and dogs like this. Then you draw the head. Oops, sorry, symmetry is a bit weird. You draw the ears, then you put those eyes, classic triangle, and then yeah. Right, it's always that little face, the little smile over here, but using the same kind of principle. We can create something a bit more refined. Here, can see that it has a bit more mass around the nose, like a bit over here. This one has a bit more of a muzzle feeling on it. See something like that. See, now I'm a bit going backwards. I should have done the mass first before doing the nose. So we're gonna redo the nose afterwards. Obviously, we don't need to focus only on this reference. It was a nice one for the proportion, but for the face, I think we need to go a bit more high details like these ones, or these ones over here. A bit more shape than just a silhouette like that. So for now, I'm gonna use this one for the rest of the head, but I'm not gonna reshape our head form, our head shape just yet. I want to see how everything works together before making any change. What I can do is, using a bit this reference, is accentuate this part over here, so the eyebrows. Kind of looks like an alien or an ant right now. But don't worry. It'll place itself. Just keep working on it. A good thing is to create that little neck right now. So the neck, we're probably gonna have to move everything forward. So just adjust the neck. Small tiny neck. Yep. Need that S curve. Straps needs to be just a bit smaller. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I see it. You know what? Let's create another shape for the nose instead of sculpting it. I think we're gonna go with the nose a bit more like this. So over here, just a bit bigger, and we're gonna use our cut tool. So using Control and Shift, I'm gonna trim this part, mirror and weld, and I'm gonna trim just like this, mirror and weld, and just one more like that, mirror and weld. Now if I smooth the whole thing, here we go. Now you can see this little jagged stuff. Let's dynamesh it a little bit higher. Here we go. And we're gonna create that little hole over here. So remember the anatomy of the mouse. It had a little divot over here. Two sides right over here. Here we go. Oops. Now we have our little nose. Let's make our ears, because he's looking really weird since he doesn't have his ears. Let's use a cone. So the cone, actually, you know what? I have a better idea. On the head, we press B and we look for the primitive. Nope, not this one. Not this one. We just need a cone. Oh, that's strange. I thought we had the cone. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. Let's use this little sphere. You know what? Actually, we can use this half sphere. Rotate it. There we go. So using a bit both of the reference at the same time. Use that like this. A bit longer, a bit deeper, the ears. And scale them. Here we go. Scale them in height. So something like that could be cool. And let's just shape it so it looks like an ear and not just a sphere. From here, what we can do is use our Z modeler tool, extrude poly island. Let's give it some thickness. Here we go. And now we shape it. Can see it's kind of going, in both cases it's going up. Oops. Yeah, boy. Here we go. So they're both going upwards like that. There we go. Looks like a mouse to me. What about you, Chet? I kind of like this the shape of this one over here. Have that classic cut. See it often in the illustration. It's either like the two ears or the cut. We don't have it on this one. The little cut. Little cut. Little cut. Little cut. Little cut. And double earrings. What do you gotta say? Huh? If it works, it works. Here we go, and then Dynamesh the whole thing so we can smooth. Now, obviously, we're gonna zero mesh the whole thing in the end, so no need to worry about the lines that it's too straight. But what we can do is just reduce a little bit the Dynamesh level. So over here, 54, 56 might help us a little bit to curve these shapes. There we go. And remember, these are holes, so we're gonna have to create those holes. Now, you can see over here I'm damaging, let me just put it back. So I was stroking and I was damaging the outside. Let's undo that and activate back face masking, sorry. And that allows me to just attack what's on the surface and not what's behind it. Go. Just let's create this little shape over here. Just create a little hole. That way it's not just a flat surface that we had over here. And we can kind of use the same principle of a human ear. Just make a little, I don't know what it's called, but you know, this little thing. See, like this little thing. Let's see if our reference over here, that's pretty much it. So making sure that this goes in. It kind of mimics the fact that it's curving. Just go a bit deeper. There you go. Not too shabby, just at least we know it's a mouse, right? Now I feel like the front of the face is a bit too flat. So let's create just a little ridge. A little eyebrow section right here. And we can move the eyes just a bit closer. And while we're at it, let's create a better hole socket. Just like so. Now that we have our contour, we can just dig. Dynamesh, smooth, dig again. Dynamesh, oops, Dynamesh, and smooth. Here we go. Now we know that the eyes are inside. go. Kind of looks badass when this pose is like, have a problem, and it's this tiny human, the mouse warrior, you can just squish. But I don't know, feels kind of cool. Now, Paw had some eyelids. I know this reference has some small eyelids. I'm kind of tempted of not doing eyelids, but I feel it's gonna look a bit weird. So let's see if we can create some small little ones. I think something like that. Obviously, we'll clean it up with when we zero mesh. Just draw a little shape. Yeah, that's good. I think that's the winner. That's the winner. Here we go. Now with the move topological, we can clean it up, making sure that it's following the eye's curve. Something like that. Just mesh a little bit and smooth. It's already a big difference. You can see a little bit more credibility in this character with the eyelids. And now for the lower eyelids, let's see if we can make it still cute, because sometimes the lower eyelid is a bit too big, and it feels like he's tired. Just smooth first. Just a small volume. I think it does the trick. A bit too much. See, just like that, we can read a little bit more into the anatomy of our character. Let's just move that a bit closer to the eye. Like that. Yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. Now here for the mouth. For the mouth, we need to make a volume underneath. And I'm not sure he's gonna open his mouth for this one, so I'm not gonna bother separating the lower part of the mouth. But what we can do is just having the front tooth like the other reference. And for that, let's just create real fast. Yeah, I mean, not even bother. Add a cube, go down to initiate with 0 resolution, 1 resolution. That's our little cube. Bring it just in front. There's one over here. Small one over here. A bit thinner. Mirror and weld. Oh, mirror and weld. And just a bit bigger. There you go. His name is Tooth, right? Would be weird not to have his tooth showing up. This one has a little bit jagged tooth. You know what? I think we don't even have to create a tooth because I think it kind of defeats the awesomeness that he had. Yeah. You know what? Let's see if it's only a matter of the size. Aha! I think if we just smooth it once. Twice. I'm testing stuff. I'm sorry if I'm silent. Just really want this character to work. Feel like it's really destroying the... no, it's not too bad. I feel it's okay. Yeah, I think it's okay. Ooh, it looks good. Take your time. It's fun to see an artist who tries new things. Thank you, Miriam. Miriam, I need your advice. Tooth? No tooth. Tooth? No tooth. What do you think? Phil, if he doesn't have tooth, it's like it defeats the purpose why he's a tooth, right? Yeah, exactly. Here we go. I think we're just gonna need to shape it just a little bit. Without it, it kind of looks like another animal. Well, thank you for your advice. There we go. Miriam has spoken, everyone. Maybe smaller? Maybe smaller. Let's try smaller. How's that? All right. Chat has spoken. I get what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, it feels like I mean, it's a mouse, right? It's not. It's a small animal. It doesn't look as badass as a wolf, right? So eventually, if we need to make it badass, there's some elements we can't really remove, otherwise it's not a mouse. I'm just reshaping the nose a little bit, just to have a little bit sharper edges. Let's use our trim dynamic, just to have a little flatter shapes. And here, there's something it's caught my attention, is this part. I want it more curvier. Here we go. I think it's a good time to shape a little bit our arms. So over here, we're gonna Dynamesh, and I think we're just gonna go with the bare minimum of this one. Meaning that it's not gonna be a super jagged arm, it's just general shape. Still is a warrior, but he's small, super small. So we're not gonna have a super muscular arm. Otherwise, it will kind of look wonky. So for now, I just want to create a little elbow. I don't need any of this. I think it's time to isolate stuff. And since we are not working in symmetry, I'm just gonna focus on this part. Just to understand the division in the section of the arms, but not too much so we can read in the muscles. See, something like that might be just enough so we can understand, all right, this is the shoulder, this is the upper arm, this is the forearm. We're just gonna reduce a little bit of the forearm. Looks like me at the gym. What do you mean looks like you at the gym? Pretty sure you have way more muscle than this guy. He's a small little fellow. Small tiny arm. That's okay, don't worry. I'm pretty sure you have bigger arms that you believe you have. There we go, so the elbow, just need to create that little line and smooth things up. See, so way less muscular than paw, but still understanding that it is a warrior, and being a warrior builds muscles even though you don't want them. Something like that. I think it's enough. Let's mirror and weld. There we go. So, before, after. Whoops. Before and after. Alright, same goes for the torso. Even though he's gonna wear clothes, let's create a little bit of an anatomy for him. Rib cage. Actually, let's Dynamesh before. Dynamesh with 16, I think it's enough. So, ribcage and just removing a bit of material here. Not too much. Like I said, he's gonna wear clothes, so we don't need to bother too much with this part of the body. What we can do is just remove that little tummy he has. Yeah, just a little bit. There you go, something like that. Imagine if he had a big ass pec. I mean, something like this would have been way weird. So let's just let's just stick it to the basics right here. And in the back, actually need to build a little bit of traps. And speaking of which, let's remove a little bit in front. Just like that. Let's use our dam sander to create that spine line. So it has a muscular back. Sometimes you just need the eyes to create, I don't know how to say it, but like to finish the image in your head. So give place to the imagination. There you go. Have a little mouse, and we need a tail. We need a tail. So this one is very small. This one is super long. This one is quite short. This one is tiny and curvy. This one is super tiny. This one is long. This one is super long. So I think it's gonna be, it could be cool to have a long tail. So let us do that with, oh, you know what? Let's make it super simple. Let's grab a tool. Like that. And I'm just gonna use the size modifier. We're gonna go small, then big, and then small. Yeah. Oh. Actually no, they go bigger. Their tail go bigger. Something like that. I think we can go even bigger. Oh, that's weird. Sorry. Here we go. I think we have it. So from here, just just gonna put it inside his body. And I'm gonna split the mask, split the tail, and from here I can use the curve tool. Here we go. And we can shape it how we want. Just gonna reduce the size. And here, let's use our reference. Now you see this one over here, it like curves around, but we're gonna pose it first, then we're gonna shape the tail how it's supposed to be. But I kind of want at least that little curve over here to happen. So just for our eyes, I'm gonna duplicate this tail to be posed, and this one is just gonna be a placeholder tail, placeholder. And the reason why is just when you're modeling, it's a bit boring to see this thing like behind. We're gonna put some armor, we're gonna dress him up, we're gonna create a nice character, and you just have that stick going in the back. And the stick is gonna be a lot easier to manipulate and to pose, but it's just for our eyes to create a character. I think it's better to have at least a minimum of a pose, just so we can have something more interesting for our eyes and it doesn't look like wonky and stuff. So here I can adjust the thickness. And here I'm just gonna put it closer. Increase the resolution 1 tad. I think I went 2. Yeah. And just go like this. And we can just increase a bit more. There we go. That's something like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, it's a placeholder. Just so that when we turn around, at least we have a nice tail curving. You know what, just before that I'm just gonna increase just a little bit over here. There we go. So at least now it's a mouse. We know it's a mouse. It doesn't have a big ass stick in his bottom. There we go. That's Tooth. That's Tooth, everyone. Tooth block out. Let's save him. It's time to make the foot. So, in this reference, we have 3 toes. This one we have just the shape, but we can kind of read with the shadows 3 toes also. This one we can read 3, but we can kind of insinuate there's a 4th one in the back. This one is 4, 3, 4, yeah, 4, and we can clearly see 4. So let's do 4. Let's see, this one is 3, and this one is all 3. What do we do, chat? 4 or 3? Oh, look at this dude. You know what's his hands? Hands are gonna be 4, so let's do 4. Let's do 4. So for the foot, let's isolate this part. Let me just change the song because it's a bit too repetitive. Oops. Ah, it's in the end. Okay, cool. Sometimes when it's too repetitive, it's a bit overwhelming in your ears. Well, it is to me. Alright, so for the foot, let's isolate these bad boys. Yoink. Split hidden. Close hole and Dynamesh and close hole. Move it a little bit. There we go. So now, our little foot. Pretty much looks like three spheres. Obviously the mouse has like small fingers, doesn't look really elegant. So I think we're gonna go with a mix. Let's just carve our foot just so we can see a little bit how it goes. I said 4, huh? Yeah. Just a 4th one right here. You know what? Let's use our move lasso. I don't know why every time I click with my pen, it just expands. Here we go. So that's that. Let's move this right around here. Let's move this over here. Let's move this right here. And we have our little tippy toes. Quite awful right now. Carve in. We might have to Dynamesh again with the leg, but at least I can focus on that and not focus too much on the leg without destroying anything we build up. So right here we can carve in. Carve our little toes. I'm going a little bit freestyle for these ones because reference we don't have anything on the bottom. Here. Sorry for the silence again. I am concentrating. Yeah, we kind of need to understand that these are toes, so we need that separation right here. Kind of looks wonky right now. Considering maybe doing one toe at a time. Here we go. A bit with go. Let's pop our reference back. I kind of want to use these ones, but for toes instead. I think what I'm gonna do is actually use a cube. I'm gonna initialize with 1, and here using the Z modeler tool, I'm gonna extrude, mask this part, and just move it a tad over here. Make an edge loop over here, make an edge loop over here, make an edge loop over here, make an edge loop over here. And if I press, yeah, I think that's pretty much what I want. I'm just gonna scale this from the middle like that. That's gonna be it. That's gonna be my toes. So for now, I'm just gonna hide everything except for the foot. Where's my foot? This one, and my toe. My wannabe toe. So something like that. And from here, duplicate, scale up just a bit. Here we go. Duplicate again. rotate. And duplicate again. This one was going to scale it down and rotate again. So now at least all the toes should be on the same level. Now if this one no, actually this one we're just gonna sorry, my bad. Okay, so we're gonna divide once, twice, yeah, twice, then delete the lower subdivision. Just move this over here, and this one over here I'm just gonna remove all of this. Okay, you're gonna get it soon. I just want to connect everything together first. Smooth it up. And now let's bring it down. This mirror and weld. Now this and this one merge down, and Dynamatch the whole thing. This part over here, I just want more. Make the fusion right. Now here I have a bit more of a separation. Just a small little cushion. And same goes for here. Just a small little cushion. Might be something I'm gonna rework off camera, just because it's close to the end of the stream. Here we go. Yeah, I think I'm gonna rework just a little bit more on the toes. By the way, I have to do it for paw also. And let's bring everything back. Oop. We don't need the scale one. And we don't need the tail. So it's a bit better than what we had, but still need some adjustment to do. I feel like this toe needs to be smaller and a bit more closer. So definitely some stuff I am gonna do afterwards off camera and just adjust the forms. I realized I didn't finish my list. So yeah, number 2 was forms and anatomy. The anatomy is quite important to understand because you can pretty much save yourself just by knowing a little bit how the human body works. Obviously, this goes for character. Will you show the final result next week or on Instagram? I think on both. On both, Miriam. I'm gonna show you, like every week, I show you a little bit the progress of where we're going forward with the project. And of course, Instagram is always where I want to show our final result, the results of our work. So a bit of both. So please, whoops, the other side. Follow me on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, where you're gonna see all the progress. Creating a little bit of the ankle. Yeah, so number 3 was, if I'm not mistaken, was learn from the mistakes. As you can see over here, there's a lot of mistakes done on the toes, and I think it's basically the main mistake is I'm trying to go too fast, right? I'm on stream, I want to show you guys quick stuff and entertain with you guys. So moving fast sometimes leads you to a mistake, and how do you resolve those mistakes is the pretty much the lesson here. So over here, how do I resolve this is to take my time and to be sure that what I do is good from the get-go. And if it isn't good from the get-go, you just arrange it, make it work, and eventually it'll show up to something nice. You see, like this ankle, I kind of like how it's going. It's just the toes that I don't like. 16, a little bit more resolution. So here you see the ankles are getting quite well, but these toes are horrendous. So I feel like actually this it kind of feels like this whole foot needs to be smaller, and yeah, it needs to be redone. So I'm gonna fix that. And learning from mistakes is also to redo the same mistake over and over again until you learn, and you just redo it, start from scratch. Not redoing your same mistake, pretty much like redoing your work, and eventually you'll understand what you did wrong and you just fix it. And number 4 was trying something new. So you see over here, we tried a mouse for the first time and came out pretty good. See, we did use some techniques for putting on the ears, a little different technique for the blocking of the body, so using sphere instead of creating the whole anatomy from A to Z. And yeah, it's Mewtwo. Yes, I was thinking I'm gonna use some reference for Mewtwo. From Mewtwo for this one. As I was doing those toes, I'm like, well, it looks like Mewtwo. Well, yeah, little headbanger, right on. And so yeah, number 5 was tell a story. So even though this character is in a pose, it's just in an A pose, we're gonna create some element to tell a story with the character. So even though we're doing miniatures and we're doing still figures, the fact that they are wearing what they're wearing, they're posed in a certain way, with the expression that we put them into. If we add some elements to the scene, It tells a story, and it's way more interesting than just a mouse standing in an A pose. But you can already see the fact that he's angry like that. The pose with the factor with his arms, that he's a bit more beefy. We already know there's something interesting with this little mouse. But just over here, let's use this reference. We can see that it's a mouse, yes, but we can see he's wearing an armor. The pose that he have is quite calm and serene. Like he's a master. We can clearly see that he's not afraid of battle, and the story behind might be that he's a knight, that the whole kingdom relies on him, and he's confident enough, right? So just this, the fact that he's posed up, that he's wearing clothes, that the sword is in the ground, that he has his one arm on the other one. It's already interesting that just having a mouse looking at you like this, right? Doesn't have a story. It's a mouse looking at somebody, right? But yeah, all these poses, all these designs has a story behind it, and that's interesting. And we need to make something interesting with this character also. So tell a story. Just need some tweaks on the nose, in my opinion. Yes, of course, there's a lot of tweaks to be done. Middle banger, don't worry. Middle head banger. And gonna do some touches off camera, and I'm gonna show you the progress. But for now, I feel like we had something really interesting, and you know what? Let's pop our paw again. Oh, whoops, sorry. Whoops, sorry. I did the wrong stuff. I send it to character creator. I wanted merge visible. And let's bring our little paw back. So this one over here, relative 45, and we just want that subtool. There we go. Oop. See, I think it's gonna look nice to have all 7 in a nice pose. Let's use the line from the bottom. Oops. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I didn't want to do. Let's open character creator. Yeah, so we'll have our 7 characters all next to each other in their nice pose. And yeah, it's gonna be cool. Which other beasts are you going to plan out? So we have Paw, which is a wolf. We have Tooth, which is a mouse. We have Claw, which is a lion. Gonna go back again. So Paw is a Shaolin monk. Paw, wolf. Tooth is a fencer knight, mouse. Claw is a gladiator lion. We have Stomp, which is a Viking berserker bear. Then we have Antlers, who is a traditional knight elk. Yeah, elk. Yeah, I think that's a word. And then we have Fang, which is a fox samurai. And last week we had Crypto Kit 13 and Dylan, who came out with the 7-1, which would be either a ram or a what was it called? Pelican, I think it was. It's kind of an armadillo with scales, and it would be a Mongolian warrior. So yeah, we're making all 7. And they're gonna have different heights, different style, and it's gonna be interesting, really interesting to have them all together. And could be nice for you guys to print them all separately or all together in a way that you can connect the sorry, the base together. So it could be cool to have some magnets and you can just clip them together. Really cool. Yeah. So that's the plan. I'm gonna have a Viking bear, and wolf, fox, wolf, fox, mouse, lion, bear, elk, wannabe armadillo, or ram, deciding on this one. On this note, this is the end of this stream. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for being here, everyone. I'm super happy where this is going. Already we can feel a nice vibe of the project, and I'm super stoked to see how it goes. Hope you're gonna have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the sun if you have some, and I will see you next week. Peace.